And at the committee meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You got my number.
or ladies and the two gentlemen, welcome to the December 3rd meeting of Mayor and Council. Here. Okay. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Publics Meeting Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been required by law. Certain portions of it may be closed to the public for the purpose of personnel and/or other matters outlined in the Sunshine Law. Decisions made and/or discussed in closed session will be made known to the public at a later date. All contracts ordered by Mayor and Council must comply with the affirmative action requirements. Fire exits are located in the direction I was indicating. In case of a fire, you will be notified via the public address system. If you are alerted for fire, please move in a very calm and orderly manner to the nearest smoke-free exit or directed by me over the public address system. Madam Clerk, can I get our roll call and pledge of allegiance?
Councilwoman Story? Here. Councilman Kelly?
Here.
Councilman Alvarasi?
Here.
Councilman Neola?
Here.
Councilman Petrosky?
Here.
Councilman Templeton?
Here.
And Mayor Wilkinson?
Here.
All members present. Eternal God, grant us thy help in all our duties and all our complexities. We ask for thy guidance. Give us thy protection in all our dangers and all our sorrows. Grant us thy peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to forego my report until later, but I would like to start out the meeting by my condolences to our borough clerk who lost her brother this week. It was a gallant fight, but the big C finally got him. But my condolences, along with council, for your brother. So, okay, I'm going to open the meeting for the procedure for the year 42 Community Development Block Grant Program. Council President.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to open the hearing on Year 42 Community Development Block Grant Program.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this public hearing is required to get input from residents as to what projects they might wish to have considered under this funding.
Include planned projects for public facilities and improvements, Park Place improvements, East Bay Avenue to East Webster Avenue in the amount of $198,806. The second one is the Public Services Senior Citizen Social Service Program, which this year will be requesting $33,000.
Council President?
Okay. Mayor,
I move.
sorry.
Down here.
I'm sorry, my fault. Okay. I move to open the public hearing on Year 42 Community Development Funds for anyone wishing to speak.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any residents wishing to come up and speak about the Community Development Grant 42, please come up. Give your name, address. Madam President, seeing no one. Oh, Jake, I'm sorry. You're getting slow, buddy. Come on. You're getting slow, buddy.
Jacob McGarrett, 612 Sheridan Avenue, Roselle Park. Ladies and gentlemen, the audience, viewing audience, members of council, Mr. Mayor Hunkerson, good evening. I don't have a copy, and Mrs. Cowley, the clerk, read it so quickly.
I'll go slow.
And I'd like to direct the question to our Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Blum, you think you'll find $280,000 in this block grant money left over from last year?
No, the block grant comes through the county, which comes through the federal government. So this would be funds we use to help offset the cost of the street project. And this one in particular is for Park Place. So we're requesting the full $198,000.
For Charles Street, the county had a sign up there. Was that block development money?
No, that was a new program. That was the infrastructure trust program that was initiated this year from the county freeholders.
I see.
Seton Avenue.
Seton Avenue was a CDBG. Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
No, I'll ask him the question later. No.
You got another public portion coming yet.
I am, yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saul Kearson, 150 Berlin Street. I'm sorry, I stepped out while my friend was speaking. So, what is this amount for? Was that mentioned?
There's two amounts. It is for $198,806 would be for Park Place improvements between East Clay Avenue and East Webster Avenue. The other amount is $33,000 for the senior citizen social service programs, taking them to the trips,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
whatever programs they're going to run for seniors in the center.
And are these for 2015 or 16?
16.
So, okay. And
These would be programs that would run from September 1st, 2016
okay.
to August 31st, 2017.
And this money has not been awarded yet.
Now,
This is
is what
just-
we're applying. This is what we're applying.
Application.
We currently have a program that started September 1st of this year, which, as our Mr. Engineer has mentioned, we have Seton Avenue, which we got $175,000 from CDBG funds for, and the bus program was $18,000 this year, and we had a handyman program for $1,000.
Candyman?
Handyman.
My apologies.
Close.
Is it expected that that amount will be given, barring anything that government
Nothing's
does?
ever expected, because these are grants, and there's always been cuts to the program.
Okay.
I could tell you that Roselle Park was given extra stars because we're one of the few towns that gets our road jobs done now in the fall. So we got additional funds this past year. Previously we had $56,000. The year before that was $137,000, and this past year we were up to $175,000. So
The reason I'm asking is for the Park Place section, let's say. If it comes less, if it comes in 120, 100,000, that clearly will not cover
we would have to make up the difference in tax dollars like we've done in the past
And
years.
that would be added to the budget.
That's when we do our capital program.
And you would know by then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to come up and speak?
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to close the public hearing on year 42 community development funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we go back into the, when you go back in the regular? We're okay? Okay, okay. Okay. Report of the committees. Last council meeting, it was second ward, so I will be starting tonight with council, third ward, Councilman Ryan Kelly, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief tonight. I actually do not have anything to report outside of, we do have, or I do have one matter for closed session, first aid squad contract negotiations.
Thank you. Fourth ward, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Councilman Viola. He's covering me for the Casano Center community meeting due to my work schedule. I'd like to wish resident happy holiday. Just remind everyone that the gazebo park at the center of the town, we have a tree lighting ceremony Friday, December 11 at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to extend my condolences to our borough clerk, Ms. Clark. That will conclude my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Fifth ward, Councilman Richard Templeton, please.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I had the honor of helping out and putting Thanksgiving baskets together with my son on the park in D.C. I went around town and handed out baskets and turkeys to families in need. It was a beautiful day, very touching. Also attended on Saturday, Carmen Taylor, re-grand opening. She relocated. She's at 39 West Westfield Avenue. She has a nice selection on women's clothing, shoes. She does alterations for uniforms and just clothes in general. What else? Also went around and supported Shop Small. There's a lot of great little establishments in town popping up, and I encourage everybody to get out there and support your local business. And that will conclude my report.
Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman Lavarge, Story, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank the Rubenshire and the Casano Center, Chris and all the volunteers there for helping put together the Thanksgiving baskets. I think that there were about a little over 24 baskets put together, and everything was great. Lots of wonderful contributions from the PBA, from Aldine School, from the middle school. I'm sure that when Ruben does his report at the next meeting, he'll go into more detail, but it was great to see everybody come together and get that going. I attended the Board of Ed meeting on Tuesday night. For those who were interested in general or who have students in the school, the superintendent did mention that there will be a PowerPoint show on the park results at the January 19th meeting. And around that same time, the reports will be going out, so everything to parents, so everything will be coordinated. So if you are interested in that, you may want to mark that on your calendar. Yesterday morning, my husband and I went up to the art show at Robert Gordon, volunteered to help show second graders around at posters of various portraits and all. And it was a great experience. It was a wonderful experience to get their take on the various portraits. It was just a lot of fun. It was also pretty kind of amusing for me as an older person to see that I was asked twice about whether a portrait was of a certain person. In one case, the portrait was of Leroy Neiman, if you know him, those sports things. It was a portrait of Howard Stern, and the other one was a Goya of a, sometimes called the Red Boy. It's a small portrait of a little boy, but with long hair, dressed up very fancy, as was typical, in those days. And in both cases, I was asked if that was Michael Jackson. So if you can figure that one out, let me know. Other than that, I hope to see everybody at the tree lighting, and, well, next meeting we'll be able to say happy holidays. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Okay.
We're just talking here.
First word, Councilman Miola, please. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start off with saying I have one matter for closed session, a personal matter in Department of Public Works.
I'm sorry.
I have one matter for closed session, BPW.
It's just an update.
It's an update.
Okay, just make sure we mention no names. Okay.
Since the last meeting, I would like to, I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Weather's been unusually warm, so, but there's still a lot of leaves out there. People have to keep bagging them. I know they're blowing around, but keep up. There won't be many left. The weather's nice. And if the weather stays like this, maybe we'll have an early spring. I can live with this for the rest of this, up to winter time. I attended the Casano Center meeting last night, and I have to say, these people do a lot for the community. I don't know how much, I didn't know how much effort it takes just to make hot chocolate and coffee and everything for the gazebo thing, that the gazebo tree lighting ceremony we're going to have on Friday. But it seems to be like there's a lot of people involved, and I always thought the Casano Center just ran on a few people, but it seems to be like a whole army of people get together. This community is alive with a vast amount of people to pull from. Everyone chips in, and it's really nice to see everybody get together. Even I saw a picture of our mayor donating cups just so we have enough for the hot chocolate on that night. So I think it's 4,000 cups he donated. You see him on Facebook.
Hey, I hope you get 4,000 people there.
Right.
Out to New York.
I also attended the last night because it's right down the block from my house. Sherman School was having a soccer kids indoor soccer sign-ups, and they had over 200 people, 200 children to sign up. Which means it's very popular in this community. I thought, I didn't think soccer was that much in Roselle Park, but it seems to be growing. That shows that there's a lot of interest in the community. That's a good thing. Saturday, December the 5th, is going to be a Rotary Club pancake breakfast. Like the mayor said, they have real silverware there, so you don't have to have no plastic forks and real plates. That's a plus. The Boy Scouts are going to be selling Christmas wreaths. They sell every year. I purchase one every year. It's nice to chip in and help the community out. If you don't want pancakes, just stop there and pick up a wreath. $20, you can pick it up anywhere, but if you pick it up at the Roselle Park Boy Scouts, it will help the community in general, instead of just going to shop right and picking one up there or just anywhere else. Don't forget people that the tree lighting ceremony on the 11th, the street's going to be closed. East Grant from Walnut to Chestnut Street, so we can, public safety is very important there. I intend to be there, and I hope to see everyone in the community there. I know everyone is working, and it's hard. It's Friday night, it's holiday season. Let's kick it off right. We'll have hot chocolate. The mayor will be pouring it himself. And hopefully, with everybody chipping in, we'll all get together and have a good evening. And last but not least, I'm working on my stork program. 2016 should be in full swing. I'll have them ready, and I'll put them behind me for viewing so that 2016 we should kick it off. I hope I can get enough cooperation with the high school. I'm going to be contacting the arts program. But right now, the holiday being what it is, they want us to be right now. So I'm going to see them first thing in January. And that will conclude my report, Mr. Mayor.
Question, sir.
Yes, sir.
What happens if we have somebody on New Year's Eve?
I will, if somebody
Be up and ready
has
for
a
the
child
first child
in the
born in
first ward, I will
2016?
put a stork there at my own expense using the stork program, New Jersey Storks, where they rent it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I will put that out. I won't do it for anyone other than the first ward.
Okay.
Unless it's you, Mr. Mayor, I'll cover you. And anyone else on council. That will conclude my report.
Thank you. Second word, Councilman Joe Petrosky.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. First of all, I want to send my condolences out to Doreen and your family. I also want to send my condolences out to Southern California. That was a shame out there. I still can't believe it, but I want to send my condolences out to them. On the 21st of November, I attended the Casano Center. They had a 60 music day, and it was very well attended, and I had a very good time. On the 25th, I attended the annual Frenchie's Alumni Night. I've been going there for many years, and this year was a good crowd. You see people that you see maybe once a year, so it was very well attended this year. On the 26th, Thanksgiving Day, I went to the Roselle Park football game. Unfortunately, Roselle Park lost. It was a great game. The final score was 41-33. Very great game. On the 28th, I also attended the ribbon cutting ceremony at Carmen's Taylor, and hopefully, success to her and everything. Yesterday, I attended the Little League meeting. They're going to start applications on the 2nd of January, and also sponsors. I'm in charge of sponsors again, and I'll be coming to Mayor Council to do a sign again. It's still going to be $100 like it was last year. As far as recreation, basketball, they had an in-person registration, very well attended. They're keeping it open until tomorrow night, and hopefully, people do sign up. Quicker people sign up, quicker they can pick teams and get the season started. The last couple of years, it kept getting delayed because they didn't have enough kids. When I heard the younger kids, it's a very well, the sign-ups are great. The older kids are still, they need more kids. So tomorrow's the deadline, and hopefully people do sign up. Indoor soccer, as Councilman Miola said, they're doing very well with their sign-ups. And wrestling has started already, and they're actually having the wrestling dinner on Saturday at 7 o'clock, Joe, at the that's in memory of your son, Anthony Cigarello, but they're having it at Capitol Hill.
No. Calvin Heights, right?
Nights?
Columbus.
Oh, okay, my mistake. I thought it was the, okay, and if anyone needs to get a hold of me, they can get me at jakepetrosky@rosellepark.net and 908-666-7821. I do want to apologize. I know a few people tried to get me. My email for the town was down I just got it back on Tuesday. So, you can get a hold of me now. And that concludes my report. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, I forgot something.
Go ahead.
Friend of the Libraries, 50/50. It's going to be, the winner will be chosen on Tuesday at 5:30 at the library, so you only have a couple of days to buy tickets. They're only $5 a piece. This is what funds all the children's programs through the year. The Friends pay for the summer programs from the kickoffs to the end of summer parties and everything in between. We also, the Friends also pay for things like the Halloween party, Dr. Seuss's birthday party, all those kinds of things. This is the main fundraiser for those events. So we do appreciate everybody coming in and helping to support the Friends. The Friends also are the people who supply things like the Kindles, new books for the Kindles, the museum passes, and as with everything else in this world, all these things are getting more expensive. One popular museum, unfortunately, more than doubled the price of its pass for next year, so that's questionable whether the Friends are going to be able to do that. So these, we depend upon the help of the community for so many things in Roselle Park, and this is another thing, and you may be able to pay for your Christmas shopping if you happen to be the winner. So go by the library or ask any member of the Friends, only $5 for a ticket. Thank you.
All right, again, my condolences to my borough clerk's family. It was very well, I think your brother would be, yes. It was a big turnout, you'd be honored, yes. It's just one of those things. But as you heard, Councilman Templeton, I also like to thank the RPDC. They went out, we supported about 11 to 12 families for the Thanksgiving Day holiday. And I'd like to thank everybody that donated to the Casano Center Pantry and to the Church of the Assumption Pantry. There's a lot of needy families. We've already started the collection for for Christmas. So I thank everybody, but we're still looking. So that. Also, I had a couple emails with the county roads. The county will pick up the leaves if you put them at the curb. There is a website you have to go on to check what day that they're coming on that area. If you live on Locust Street, Chestnut Street, Fayette Avenue, and East Lincoln Avenue, and Gallatin Hill Road. You have to check that website to say that they will be here Monday, December 7th. You put them out by the curb, they'll pick them up. After that date, you have to be bad. So the county is giving us the option. So go on the website, check that to see when they're coming in front of you. Well, I still hold Mr. Coffee today. Well, borough ordinance. Okay, well, bag them and the county will pick them up. But that was the questions I was getting. So, all right, well, I'm going to have to maybe amend that next year. I had the honor on Friday, November 20th, the day after Thanksgiving, Roselle Park Dental. I helped up there. He does charity work. This is his 3rd or 4th year. He had 44 people that came in, free dental work. Minor, cleanings, stuff like that. But I was able to go up and help him for a while. It was a nice day to see caring and giving that's giving out by Roselle Park Dental. As you've heard from the other council people, on Saturday, November 21st, we had the bandstand, the 60s year down at the Casano Center. It was a well-attended event. Ruben did a great job, so did everybody else. I'd like to thank the Union County freeholders for help sponsoring it. It was a lot of trivia that day too, so to bring back. Again, you heard Councilman Petrowski talking about the annual Frenchies Night at the, I call it Alumni Night down at Frenchies. It's nice to see. Years ago, we all used to come home for our reunions to see Mom and Dad, for Thanksgiving holidays, but now as we're getting older, Moms and Dads are gone. Now we are traveling out to go see our grandkids. Hopefully someday I'll be able to do that. So it was nice to see the tradition, going on. Again, I did attend the football game in Roselle. It started out to be a good game. It was going back and forth, so it was a heartbreaker that Roselle, finally came on top. We've heard the grand opening for Carmen's Tailors. Myself, Councilman Petrowski, Councilman Templeton were there. She relocated. She's staying with us. She loves the town, and I'm glad to see that. And I'm going to talk about it with the small businesses in a few minutes. Sunday, I'd like to thank former Chief Del Rosa for setting up the Smith Fund. fundraiser down at the Casano Center to raise funds for the family that was, had a lot of tragedy happen to them last year. You've also heard this coming Saturday, December 5th, the Rotary Club is having their annual pancake breakfast at the Methodist Church, so please attend and help them. Also, on that day, after eating all that turkey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'll be in front of Applebee's in Clark, New Jersey, in my dress blues for the Marine Corps Toys for Tots. I'll be over there collecting for the Toys for Tots this Saturday, 8:30 to 11 in front of Applebee's. Monday, December 7th is the Historical Society's Christmas meeting. Please attend. It's open to everybody. This Thursday, next Thursday, week from today, December 10th, right here in Borough Hall, I'll be hosting the Roselle Park Business Chambers meeting. It's open to everybody. We started up, as you know, it was back in the 90s with Lucky Meadows and a few other businessmen started it. It worked for a little while and then it fizzed out. Back in the early 2005, 2006, the city came in. We started that. That kind of started out okay, and finally the sin ended. So we started the Roselle Park Business Chamber. In 10 days that we have been actually going, we've got 14 already signed up. We are looking for sponsors. A major sponsor is $500, which we get credit for all the upcoming events. So here at 6 o'clock in Borough Hall, I will be discussing that. It's an idea that we need. I need to bring businesses to stay in Roselle Park. I need the businesses to thrive in Roselle Park because we need the revenues. I don't need empty stores. And I'm putting myself out there to be a part of it. I will be there. Going back to my days when I was the police officer, I need you, you need me. I need to know what's going on. I got to know what's going on through the businesses, taxes, problems, the streets are dirty, whatever. These are the reasons why we started the chamber. So please, the 6th, on the night of the 10th at 6 o'clock, there will be some light refreshments here. Everybody, I kind of like you have in your packets the flyer. I like to have councilors' permission to change it from the annual holiday lighting back to the annual Christmas tree lighting. If that's all right with everybody.
Well, I got to say, Mr. Mayor, I have checked that out, and nobody, every other town in the area calls it a holiday lighting or a tree lighting, and I think that this is moving away from inclusiveness to exclusiveness. So I cannot support that.
Well, again, that's everybody else. That doesn't have to be here. I'm just asking if that's what everybody wants. That's.
Mayor, I support changing the tree lighting ceremony from annual holiday to annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
Well, I have to say, as an individual, and representing those individuals who do not celebrate Christmas, I see no point for me to go to a Christmas tree lighting, but I won't be there.
Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
And also, in that same motion, I'd like to change it going back to the first Friday of the month instead of here's the 11th. So next year, 2016, it will be the first Friday in December, whatever day that falls on.
We have a motion to change the name to the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
And be held on the first Friday of the month. Yes, please.
Councilwoman Story.
No.
Councilman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilman Elmer Rossi.
No.
Councilman Viola.
Yes.
Councilman Petrovsky.
Yes.
Councilman Templeton.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4 in the affirmative. Now motion passes.
Okay, thank you. As you see, if you go back to the third page, you'll see basically kind of like the layout. Does everybody kind of like understand it? Okay, I'll leave it out to the public if anybody wants to look at it. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot different. We're closing off, we're bringing the bleachers in from the high school for people, you know, to have the chairs. We have a ton of entertainment that night. So we will be, it should be a festival night. And from what I understand, the weather's supposed to be pretty good. So I thank everybody for that. And I think I talked about the business chamber. Okay, that concludes my report. I will now turn to my engineer.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry.
I forgot to say something. December 14th is the Municipal Land Use Board meeting, and it would be in everyone's best interest to show up and just show your face, and maybe if you have an opinion on whatever they're speaking about, show the Municipal Land Use Board that we participate in the community and in our town, and we would like the businesses to thrive, and if they see us here, the more people we get involved, I think it's a plus for the community. It's the 14th of December. It's before the next meeting, so I wanted to speak of it tonight instead of having the lost opportunity. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Engineer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also would like to send my condolences to Madam Clerk and her family for her loss. He'll be missing. Just going over the construction projects real quick. Obviously, winter is upon us. West Colfax Avenue, concrete work will be finished this week. Milling and paving is scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. That would substantially complete that project. Obviously, we're coordinating with the Board of Education and also PD to provide, safe pedestrian and vehicle access at that time. So, emergency vehicles as well, obviously. Regarding Aldine Park, the new basketball court is down, the pavement is down, the rims and the backboards are installed. There's a couple of site issues that need to be addressed. Also, the court needs to be surfaced with an acrylic surfacing course and striped. A little nervous about the weather, trying to get that in, but we're working our best and praying to Mother Nature that she cooperates so we can finish off that project. The crosswalks on Chestnut Street, they're scheduled to start Monday. It should be a 2-day project, Monday and Tuesday. The county has already been advised. I believe the contractor has also reached out to the local PD, who will be doing the traffic safety control out there. They'll come back probably a week or so later to do the striping. So it will be roughly a 3-day process. Charles Street, we talked about that a little bit earlier, partially funded through the County Infrastructure Trust Program. That job is complete. The county has come out and performed an inspection. They agree and are satisfied with the improvements. They provide us with the process and the procedures to seek reimbursement, so my office is working with the CFO to secure that reimbursement before the end of the year, per the grant agreement. Seton Avenue, again, that project is complete as well. We're working with community development and the CFO to seek reimbursement of that $175,000 as previously discussed. Regarding the OEM garage, it's more of a storage building, 2 bays. We have to re-advertise for that project. We had no bids actually come in last week. So, and this economy, we had 0 bids. So we'll re-advertise. I believe it's set up for Tuesday of next week. Hopefully we get a bid. If we don't, if there's no bids or the bids come in too high by local public contracts law of the borough, and my office can try to negotiate a contract with a willing vendor at that time. But I'll report back sometime around 17th of this month. That's what I have to report, Mr. Mayor.
Do you have any questions for our borough engineer? Chief Financial Officer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick update. Our tax sale was held on November 23rd, right here at 10 a.m. The list was narrowed down. There was 59 properties. All 59 properties were sold, and 58 out of 59 had a premium issued on them. The reval meetings have started this week. Speaking with the company, they said the meetings are going well, and they are going to be wrapping them up on Saturday of this week. And I have two personnel matters for closed session. It's about job description, not nobody had any rights.
That's two.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, both in the construction office.
Madam Clerk?
I basically just want to thank the mayor and council for the lovely basket, and thank them for their condolences and support during a pretty difficult time.
Okay. At this time, I'd just like to say, I did get a notice from the chief of police that he could not attend tonight because his daughter is doing a Christmas dance recital, and our DPW superintendent was called away on an emergency. But we do have our fire chief, Mr. Joseph Norrell.
Good evening. We've actually had a pretty busy couple weeks, especially the night before Thanksgiving. A couple burnt turkeys, pies. They smelled good, but we didn't need to have any food. It wasn't cooked well or well done. Our Santa Claus delivery is coming up. You can check on the website, roselleparkfiredepartment.org. And a flyer went out in the schools yesterday. Sherman, Aldine, and Robert Gordon. And I think we're going to probably double the amount of people we had last year. So we're looking forward to it. We're expecting higher volume. If you don't have the flyer, just call 908-241-1749. That's the answer machine at the firehouse. Tell them who you are and what district you live in, or area, Sherman or Aldine, and we're ready. So I don't really have because there's at least about 3 nights of collections, and we're going to sporadically make the deliveries this year. The companies are, Lorraine, Center, and for 2, they're going to do different nights. So you contact that number, they'll get back to you, and we'll get Santa to come to see you. We're looking forward to it. So we'll hope the weather holds up too. Other than that, everything's been pretty quiet. Anything for me?
Oh, yes. Anybody? Simon,
Yes.
what is you're supposed to give me figures, facts?
I'm going to put it with the capital expenditures this year for new improvements, looking down the road, what we want to do, what's the future of the siren, where we want to put it, do we want to relocate it? If you want to talk about it and see it, I can talk to you. But I thought you wanted to have this for future down the road, capital expenses.
There's still problems.
So,
We need to.
well, listen, if there's a problem with the siren, okay, you can call the borough clerk and question the fire chief, 908-245-6222. Ask for me. I will direct any questions and answers, and, educate you why we have it, why do we need it, and all the above. Give me a shout. I have never received one call or one complaint in the year 2015 about the siren.
Okay, all right, I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Since council Councilwoman Story left. Senior is Councilman Kelly. Councilman Kelly, can I have a motion to approve the reports of the departments?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve all reports of the departments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Councilman Kelly, can I get a motion to have, open the public portion of the meeting?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to open the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, the meeting is open to the public. Please come forward.
That's what I
Your
said.
name and address, and tell us what's on your mind.
Pam McNamara, 211 Valley Road. I have a complaint about the community garden. There are still rows and rows of bales of decaying straw left on the lot. When is that going to be cleaned up?
That's a very good question. From what I understand, there was two things that they were going to do. They were going to try to leave some of that straw there for next year. So I will be talking to my superintendent and getting some information.
They haven't touched it.
From what I was told, it was supposed to be picked up during the vegetation pickup on that day.
Right.
It wasn't. Then it was brought up through the committee to let it deteriorate a little bit to get that nice topsoil start for next year. So I will find out. Could you just give the clerk the number that I can reach you?
Yes. I want to say it's an eyesore. And you have Crossfield Products offices directly across the street from this mess. So I don't want to see it standing there, till next spring.
No. I will.
I'll be here
No.
the next
17.
meeting, you have to claim.
17.
I'll be here.
Saul Kiersman, 150 Berlin Street. I asked regarding the website, is there any due date for the website to become active? It's currently under construction. There's a lot of sections that are not usable. I was actually trying to do some research and couldn't because there was nothing there.
I will find out from the tech.
Thank you. Because most have due dates. Just wondering if one has been put in place, if not, perhaps one should.
I will find out.
Thank you.
When I leave here.
Because something came up that has taken more precedence, I would ask that my council proxy for me and pull resolutions 308, 310, 311, 314, 315, and 317. I have quick questions. Here, let me give you a quick question. So 308, what are the restrictions? 310, what is the decrease? Why is there a decrease amount? And, I'm sorry. Yeah, is that tied to 311, basically? 314, there's no amount. And I just find it funny that Morton Salt will be providing the salt. It's funny. 315, just a question what the community center director is as opposed to, I guess, the 316, my apologies, 316, the last title. What is that? The community center director.
Somebody that works at the desk, they call it director because years ago that was the title.
Gotcha. Thanks. And 317, what was the original amount? With that stated, I must again repeat my just general discomfort with politics being addressed at a meeting for all residents. Numerous times, our PDC was mentioned. I would object if Mr. Shipley or Mr. Kelly did the same thing for the, I guess, RP or MC, whatever. But since it was brought up, the door has been opened.
Right ahead.
Regarding, and I guess for the record, Councilwoman Story has left in protest, or has
I
left.
have no idea. She didn't say anything
Okay.
one way or the other.
With regard to the Christmas tree, or the Christmas tree lighting, I understand that a lot of people have their feathers ruffled regarding political correctness. But it goes beyond that. I wasn't going to say this, but just to give you a real life example, we are going to, a young man will be joining our family this month. He's Jewish. He celebrates Hanukkah. And we were going to go to the holiday lighting for one thing, so again, it's right.
Are you looking for the menorah?
Menorah.
I have no problem with that.
Right. But here's the bigger issue. Here's the bigger issue. And I'd like to quote from an organization that takes into account in its charter the presence of religious minorities of significant numbers whose level of participation would be affected. That's the Democratic National Committee. That's their belief. So I find it bizarre that people who spoke about Democratic Party events and are registered Democrats would go against one of the major tenets of their own party. But that's just a comment. My questions are, has this been reviewed by the attorney to see if such a Christmas tree, so suppose someone wants a Festivus pole. No one who knows, go to Seinfeld. Suppose someone wants a satanic pentagram. Suppose somebody wants, this is the reason, I presume, why such things are kept to generics. Because sooner or later you're going to have someone who's going to push the envelope and say, I'm a Satanist, I want to have a pentagram.
Look,
It's a word, right? But there are a lot of words.
What is this called? What is this?
It's cold water.
Huh?
Right? Right, what I'm saying.
Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty?
And that's the question you should ask yourself.
That's the question, so.
Because if an attorney hasn't reviewed such an issue, that glass could get empty very quick. Again, I understand that everyone wants to stand up for what they believe in, and I mean, if we were being accurate, we should have been calling it the Christmas stump, like for a couple of years, right? But if we were being, truthful, right? And it's understood. A private organization can do anything it wishes, but a public entity has a greater responsibility to be, as Councilwoman stated, inclusive. And I don't know if it was meant, and I believe that nobody who voted for it meant to offend. I believe it was an actual keeping Christ in Christmas. That's why it's called Christmas, right? But little children don't understand that. They understand Santa Claus. So how its original, again, it's just one word, the original intention is a religious holiday. And it's a great religious holiday. But, it would be the same thing as, and I do this every year, I tell everybody Happy Hanukkah. Because if there was no Hanukkah, there'd be no Christmas, regardless of your faith. So, again, it's kind of to be inclusive, and perhaps thought should be given to that. I don't know if this was a knee-jerk reaction or anything like that. And I also find it strange that in a year where there were many diverse community events for many diverse cultures, at this very time you'd go ahead and make a point to make it called Christmas. I don't care, I tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever. But it really should be just thought out a little more. It offends some people. It doesn't offend me. I don't care.
It offends me.
But there are people, what offends you?
I'm just saying, you said things offend you.
Wait, no, this Christmas, calling it
I
Christmas.
do have a life. I am a person. I have my beliefs too, right?
Correct, and you can have a nativity.
Here's the time's up.
Yes. To be continued.
For the record, the December 7th starts Hanukkah to the 14th, so you can call me, and I'll say happy Hanukkah to you every day.
You can't do that. You can't, once the time is up.
Jacob McGarrett, 612 Sheridan Avenue, Roselle Park. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, viewing audience, members of council, Mr. Mayor Hokusin, good evening. December 7th was the beginning of the Second World War. Pearl Harbor Day. And on December 30th, 1946, officially ended the Second World War. 5 years later, I remember a song that they used to sing. Let's remember Pearl Harbor as we do the Alamo. Resolution 31615, setting the amounts. Madam Clerk, when you read this resolution, please include the amounts, the position and the amount. Resolution 307-15, the towing contract. Can you enlighten us, because you folks went into closed session on this matter, and when you reopened it, the people didn't know what happened, whether it was voted on or voted yes or no. For our borough engineer, update on senior citizen housing and the construction of DPW and OEM. Can you, I don't know if you folks are going to build an addition in the back here, but Viking Plumbing built a steel building, put the building up, insulated it, and finished it off. Beautiful job. Cost peanuts. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
comes December 11th. May I turn the tree lights on?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'll tell you what, you hold one and I'll hold the other and we'll come together.
I declined that last week.
They're two plugs.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm somewhat reluctant to go into that.
Or if it's a switch, we'll
I can do that. Do we have a shared service agreement with the county? I noticed that our street sweeper goes up and down East Lincoln Avenue. I don't know if he goes on the other streets.
It's all the streets in the borough.
Well, the other boroughs.
Better yet, we got GPS on that. You can punch it up on a computer. You can actually see where the sweeper is.
I'm not computer savvy.
I'll have somebody help you with it.
Okay,
But yes, from my understanding, they cover all the streets, county and municipal,
okay. Now,
and the state highway.
the county streets would be Chestnut Street, Locust, Fatute, East Lincoln, West Lincoln.
No,
What?
East Lincoln only.
East Lincoln, okay, East Lincoln.
Galloping Hill Road, Chestnut Street,
all right.
Locust Street, Fayetteville Avenue, East Lincoln Avenue. From Chestnut Street to Galloping Hill Road.
And if we do the streets for them, sweep the streets, what do we get in return?
We don't get anything in return.
Do we just,
There's no mutual agreement. We've been doing it all along.
oh, I realized that. And I was under the assumption that, that they,
We get a clean community, that's what we get out of it.
clean community?
Get a clean community.
Okay, I'll buy that. All right, I put the lights on, and I'll go along with you. We'll plug it in. I'll just wear my rubber boots. That's it.
Must be a nice day.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, viewing audience, members of council, Mr. Mayor Hokuson, good evening.
Thank you, Jay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before you rub your forehead goodbye, can I answer Mr. Majerus' questions?
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Regarding the DPW building, the hope is that we'll go out to bid sometime early 2016, presuming we don't hit any more obstacles with the design process of the building. Regarding the senior project next door, I'm unaware of any update. It's not a project under my control, and it's not a sponsored project by the borough. It's a separate entity, so I don't have an update on that project. Regarding the OEM building, it's a separate building. It's about a 1,200 square foot building, wood stick figure construction with a steel outer shell. That's the building in question. I think that answers your questions to me.
Anyone else wishing to come up and speak?
Joe DiOrio, 824 Larch Street. If I may, Mayor, through you, ask a question to the Acting Council President, Ryan Kelly. Any information, any follow-ups to the public stuff initiative that you've addressed? I know it was discussed at a prior meeting, but I figured I'd ask.
I mean, from what I could tell, it was well received, but there was pretty much consensus that it was something we would kind of reapproach during the budget process. It was well received. I believe everyone's the consensus was to reapproach it and kind of evaluate everything during the budget process, whether it be evaluating public stuff, evaluate where we're at budget-wise, maybe even bring in additional vendors to kind of evaluate all options before moving forward. But that's where it stands right now.
Okay. Thank you, Acting Council President. A question on Resolution 300-15. And Mayor, I want to thank you for spending some time with me last week to discuss how this came about. I know it's a discussion that occurred from what I was told in the prior administration, when there was a use of cell phones being used on the dais while a council meeting was going on. And I agree that it's disruptive to the point where it really doesn't make the governing body look good, but it also gives the appearance that there's something going on. 315?
300.
300 dash. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, 300.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at 350 diesel fuel.
It's not easy.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, who would have guessed? In any event, the intention is good because I agree that there should be minimal disruption. The concern I bring forward is the wording of the resolution as it's presented. The section that says that the use of, and it gives a various list of electronic devices, cell phones, computers, tablets, smartphones, during a mayor and council meeting may lead to the public's perception that a council member is not paying attention to the subject matter at hand, or that the council member is receiving information relative to the subject matter at hand that other council members and members of the public are not receiving. The concern I have with that statement is nowadays members of the governing body will actually use their, whether it be a laptop, their iPad, their smartphone, to research information as the meeting's going on. For example, last week or 2 weeks ago, when the issue of the Highlands came up. Now, I wasn't familiar with the Highlands, so I had my laptop, so I quickly looked up, okay, what's going on with the Highlands, so that I would better understand what the gentleman was saying. So I think in that case, when the governing body needs to look something up very quickly, or to be able to research something that's being discussed in a resolution, they can do so quickly. Or if a member of the public asks a question, they could pull up information that might be helpful to the discussion. So that's why I see it's a benefit. Other governing bodies, I know in Springfield, one of the committee members used to actually have his laptop and pose questions, like a live chat, to the public as a meeting was going on. So they would say, resolution number 300-15 is being discussed, and they have a little bit of a different situation. They had a situation where the tablet or the laptop was actually used to record the meetings live. And while not through the regular municipal channel, but through the laptop. So while I'm not here to suggest that, but that is a use to help have a dialogue, not to be detrimental to the running of government. So you might want to either interpret it or maybe narrow the subject of this resolution so that it's the section where it talks about an agenda item, not members of the governing body not having that information. Well, a smartphone or a tablet really replaces your pen and paper. So for example, if Councilman Miolo has something in his hand right now that other council members don't have because he did some research prior to the meeting, well, that's fine. And he'll share that when he thinks it's appropriate. Similarly, if someone has a tablet and wants to look something up and have that at his hand or her hand, that's also a benefit, not a detriment. So while I agree that we should not have the cell phones going on and off, I think the use of an electronic device, in some respects, takes the place of pen and paper, but also adds to the benefit of having an intelligent discussion when a subject comes up or when the public comes up. So something to consider. Sorry to add to but that's something that sort of got my attention when I was reading this tonight. That's all. Thank you, members.
Anyone else wishing to come up to speak? Acting Council President, seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Mayor, seeing no one, I make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Acting Council President, may I have a motion that the minutes be approved pending any corrections?
Mayor, I make a motion for the minutes to be approved pending any corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Acting Council President, may I have a motion that the bills and payrolls be not read and passed for payment?
This is a lot of work. Mayor, make a motion that bills and payrolls not be read and passed for payment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're off the hook for a moment.
All right, thank you.
All matters listed are considered to be routine and non-controversial by council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Madam Clerk, can we start with 300-15 and go down to 320-15, please? And if you may insert.
Yep.
You may insert the information for 316 as you're reading. Is that the only one?
Do we know the restrictions on the fire department siren, other than hours and fire during an active fire?
The active fire has to be done manually. past, and that's part of the ongoing thing. So I think right now it has to be back on status quo, right? Status quo for the time being at the moment. No, that was testing procedure.
All right, 315, amending the bylaws to establish use of electronic communication devices prohibited. 30815 is amending resolution 25915 to allow the Roselle Park Fire Department siren to go back on with restrictions.
I would have to say, according to the borough attorney, we will do a restriction until,
Just to go back on, no restrictions.
and until this matter is, until I speak with the chief.
Okay, to go back on actively. 30915, continuing support for the goals and purposes of the 2004 Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act. 31015, authorizing change order number 1 in the amount of a decrease of $1,356.72 for the project roadway improvements to Charles Street to 18 concrete, and those change orders are for, let me just get it for 1 minute so we can, Tom?
Yeah, I can intercede there real quick. Basically, it's a decrease of the project for less than 1% for unused quantities relative to asphalt and pretty much concrete. That's the basis of it.
31115 is accepting the construction and authorizing the final payment to 18 Concrete Inc. in the amount of $90,526.65 for the project roadway improvements to Charles Street, and that job was inspected by the county and approved. 31215, approving the insertion of an item in the 2015 budget for 2015 Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over year-end holiday crackdown grant in the amount of $5,000. 31315, authorizing the treasurer to issue a check in the amount of $2,568 for duplicate payment of fourth quarter 2015 taxes on block 1001, lot 13. 31415, authorizing the purchase of rock salt pursuant to state New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program Agreement.
There's no amount given because that's just awarding the state contract, and as we need it, which hopefully won't be much, we will spend it.
31515, authorizing the purchase of diesel fuel pursuant to Somerset County Cooperative Purchasing Program Agreement. 31615 is setting the salaries for certain officials for the year 2016 through 2019. 31715 is amending resolution 14115 to increase the maximum amount specified for Randall Gottsman, administrative agent, for the housing rehabilitation program in the borough of Roselle Park for an additional $30,000 for a maximum amount not to exceed $75,000, and this is being done because we have so many applications approved for rehab projects that they're exceeding the amount that we're allocating, and we're doing it on an as-needed basis. So if there's 4, we have been doing it on an as-needed basis. If there's 4 contracts that we approved, we've only been awarding enough to cover the administrative costs and the costs for those 4 projects. So since we already have 4 in the works, and there's 4 more pending that have been approved to go forward, and 2 more in the works to be approved, we figured that doing this every other meeting, we would do it once and try to eliminate it every single meeting. 31815, authorizing the treasurer to issue a check in the amount of $250 for a senior citizen deduction for the year 2015 on block 810, lot 41. 31915, authorizing the treasurer to issue a check from the tax collector's premium account in the amount of $10,600 payable to the borough of Roselle Park from a tax lien foreclosure on block 301, lot 25. And 32015 is authorizing the borough clerk to auction an unclaimed police vehicle.
That's it.
Anybody have?
Just one, I guess, comment/question, Mayor, for 300-15. I think, from my understanding, it's kind of in an effort to, I guess, respect transparency and open public, or OBRA, and it seems as though, technology will always be faster than how quickly OBRA can be updated. And I hate to do this, but I was even reading it, and even how I was reading it and interpreting it last week, it kind of jumped off the page differently to me. And this is probably one of the reasons why people hate government or claim red tape, or it's like an episode of Parks and Recreation, I feel. But the line, therefore, the council's use of electronic communication devices, other than for the purpose of accessing agenda matters that are on a council member's iPad or laptop computer. And then it goes on to say, is prohibited during a mayor and council meeting. And I read that as the only electronic device that I can use to access agenda matters would be a physical iPad or laptop, as opposed to accessing my agenda from an iPhone or whatever the case may be, any other smartphone.
How about this?
And I hate to do it,
No, look, you know me, I got no problems with, how about we table it again? We sit down and we all come up with,
The agenda is sent out how many days before? It's updated and people can discuss it. Until we reach right here, there's never an opportunity to go on your iPad or laptop and look at stuff and check it out. It's done, it's set, 3-4 days. Let's pass it and be done with this. It's my opinion.
it's your guys' call.
Agreed.
You guys want to pass it, or you can table it again and we'll discuss it?
That's red tape, putting it off.
You could also theoretically propose that red tape is enacting anything restricting cell phones or anything up here.
Sure. It's just that the public's expecting us to move forward, not keep on postponing things.
Yeah, and again, the only reason why I would even hesitate to vote yes on this would just be for the sole fact that technically I could be on an iPad or laptop to access agenda matters, but I'd be in violation if I was accessing it from an iPhone or any other smart tablet.
It's the appearance of impropriety that we're trying to avoid. On a smartphone, the public could assume that if you're looking something up and Councilman Templeton is looking something up, that you're telling him how to vote, or you two are discussing something privately instead of formally speaking it for the public. So what you're trying to do is avoid the appearance of impropriety by eliminating the use of phones during a meeting.
Right, and I think that's where the effort is here.
And that's what
But,
the
I mean,
effort is.
You could also, Councilman Templeton and I could also email via, a gigantic desktop computer here as well.
Well, if you do, your email's operable very quickly.
I could use an application on my iPad, WhatsApp, which is inaccessible via public record. I'm just saying, there's 1,000 scenarios. That's all I was getting at. And that's why I hated to bring it up, because I knew it would only complicate it further.
Up to the council.
Okay.
Are we moving the consent agenda as a whole, or are we pulling 315 off the consent agenda? Somebody guide me.
I make a motion, we leave it on the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to leave 300 on the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Templeton. Leave 300.
Yes, please.
But even when you vote on that, I mean, someone has to pull it off. You don't have to make a motion, leave it on. If no one pulls it off, it's still on the consent agenda.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
I like your theory. I like your way of
You can have like everyone else go pull it off without a vote. I don't think anyone's pulled it. I don't think Councilman Kelly has pulled it as of yet. But I don't think you need a motion. With all due respect, Councilman, you should keep it on there because it's left on there unless one of the members pull it. Exactly. Yeah. Just leave it on there.
I'll be leaving it on. Tabling it at this point would only further complicate it.
You do what you gotta do, Councilman.
Go back to
We've
consent.
seen that already tonight.
But I also didn't want to tell anybody to vote on either, just because everyone's entitled to their own.
So Councilman Kelly is the council president. He's going to move the motions for the consent agenda.
Mayor, I'd like to make...
Is that okay?
Councilman Kelly make a motion.
We're going to remove this motion. That
take it.
was motioned and seconded. We have to remove that. Technically, since it got a motion and a second, a motion from Miola and a second from Templeton, does the Councilman Miola want to withdraw his motion?
So be it.
Okay, the motion withdrawn. Okay. Councilman Kelly. You're up.
So we are, 300-15, 308, and then through, we're not pulling anything, correct? Okay, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that resolution 300-15 and then 308-15 through 320-15. Actually, pause. I'd like to pull 300 for separate vote, which would be differently, because I'm going to vote no on that, because I just don't agree with the wording. And then 308-15 through 320-15, do it all at once, or vote the resolutions.
Second.
Okay, on the consent agenda, removing 315. Councilman Kelly.
No.
On the consent agenda?
Consent, that's...
Consent agenda. No, we're going to consent agenda.
Go to the second page. Everything else. 308 down to 320.
Really? Councilman El Marassi,
Yes.
consent agenda.
Yes.
Councilman Miola.
Yes.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
And Councilman Templeton.
Yes.
Okay, Councilman Kelly, 300-15.
I'll be voting no.
What do you want to do, motion?
I will make a motion
To adopt
to
300.
adopt 300-15.
Second.
Second.
Okay. On 300-15, Councilman Kelly.
No.
Councilman El Marassi.
Yes.
Councilman Miola.
Yes.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Templeton.
Absolutely, yes.
4 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The motion passed, Mayor. Yeah, I know. Yeah, good point. You can't make the motion because you're voting against it.
Okay. Can I make the motion?
No. No, you can't. You're right.
Make the motion.
Can I research it on my iPad or iPhone?
I'd like to make a motion, consent agenda 300-15.
That's the way we'll run it.
That's it.
Look,
Let's be safe.
What's being said? What councilman is making the motion to pull 300-15?
I'd like to make a motion to pull on the consent agenda 300-15.
Second.
Okay. Now we take the vote.
Who's taking that? All right. Councilman Kelly.
No.
Councilman El Marassi.
Yes.
Councilman Miola.
Yes.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Templeton.
Yes.
4 votes, 1 negative. Motion passed.
This time, I'd like to accept the resignation of Diane Lamonaco as a member of the Environmental Committee effective November 1st, 2015. Whereas, the mayor and council of the Borough of Roselle Park wish to discuss matters which were described in the Open Publics Meeting Act, the Sunshine Law. And whereas, the general nature of the subject to be discussed in closed session are
There's 4 matters. 1 is contract negotiations with the first aid squad, personnel matter with DPW, and 2 personnel matters with the construction department.
Whereas the time, any circumstance under which the items discussed in closed session will be disclosed to the public in a future time. Now therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Roselle Park adjourn the open portion of the meeting and closed portion of the meeting to discuss the above matters.
At the cell phone.
I have a motion to go into closed.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to go into close.
Acting council president, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in open session. During the closed session, we discussed 4 matters. At this time, I will turn it over to my legal attorney, Mr. Huntsman.
Thank you, Mayor. There were 4 matters as you indicated. First one was contract negotiation for the first aid squad. There was no resolution on that matter. Second matter was a personnel matter with the DPW. No resolution on that matter. Third and fourth matter were personnel matters with the construction department. That matter has been resolved. The positions will be advertised as required.
Okay, with that, acting council president, can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.